Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and tonight I'm doing another Sudsy recap, and I just had a day. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. It didn't start out so bad, but it ended up being really rough. I got through it. What can you do, right? Um, in terms of the shows that I'm going to be doing, tonight we're doing Below Deck. I look fat when I do that. Let's do it this way. Oh, I got a hair. There we go. So Below Deck this week was interesting. First of all, there was a lot of quote unquote Captain Leeisms. Like, what was one of the ones he said? He'd fuck it up even if it was a two-car funeral. He'd fuck up a two-car funeral. We look like the cross between the Keystone Cops and the Three Stooges, which, no offense, but that kind of showed his age because a lot of young people, they don't know who either the Keystone Cops or the Three Stooges are, right? Just saying, just saying. I got it. I'm old. I got it. But a lot of the target demographic for the show wouldn't have necessarily gotten that reference. In terms of the romantic couples on the show. Well, first of all, before we even get into that, let's talk about Nico for a second. Nico is starting to kind of, he's not undermining Kelly's authority, but he's questioning a lot of Kelly's authority. And he's like, well, he's leaving the boat to go fishing while we have to clean up the boat and blah, blah, blah. So, he has a point. He does have a point. But at the same time, you wonder, okay, well, now that the biggest asshole, Trevor's gone, is Nico now going to focus on the next one down that he thinks is on? I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little strange, just the timing of the complaining. But then again, it might just be cabin fever. People they've been locked up on that boat, excuse me, for quite some time. And that might be it. Like they just might be just ready to. When I lived in Japan working for Tokyo Disneyland, we had cabin fever like that, except we weren't trapped on at sea, but we were on an island where not very many people spoke English, and we had to live and breathe and work with each other for 24 hours a day. So we went a little stir crazy as well. So cabin fever is definitely a real thing. But in terms of the love bug that has been biting people, let's talk. Well, so we saw Ro go home. And it's funny because they are not together anymore. So it just makes me wonder, oh, what's going on? Why is, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, because I thought they looked really cute together. But you never know. You never know what goes on in a relationship. Nico and Lauren are just friends. They're okay with that. They're cool. Kyle and Sierra. So we found out there was a little bombshell kind of that was dropped about Kyle this week. We found out that he has a 2.5-year-old daughter now granted, he likes to give his money to the mother of his child, who was a one-night stand, but he supports his daughter and he likes to give money to his daughter, like, and send money home. And that's actually very noble, despite the fact that it's interesting that, but just the way he described it, and that might be a cultural thing because I thought that was a little bit kind of sleazy, the way that he described his relationship with his baby's mother. But I don't know. That could be a cultural thing. I'm sorry, I'm like, it's late and I've been stressed. Okay, so Kyle was out with Sierra. He asked Sierra out on a date, and she said yes, she would love to, right? Because who wouldn't? Kyle is pretty hot. Even though now there's some question, and it's not the fact that he has a daughter, it was just the way he was speaking about the daughter's mother that was kind of a little bit off-putting. But she'd already, she said that yes, she'd go out on a date with him, and she didn't find out until she was on land with him that, oh, he has a child. Okay, you know, because that was never mentioned before. And he said, and then he said he's not ashamed of his daughter, but he doesn't like to lead with his daughter because, you know, he doesn't use his daughter as bait, and it turns a lot of girls off. Sierra is one of those girls. So she's now like, oh my god, what if I've said I'm gonna go out on a date with this guy, and he's got a daughter, and he's got, like, this is not the guy that I thought he was. So sorry. Good lord, I'm just really tired. I'm sorry. Okay, so she tells, not Emily. Is it Emily? Yes, Emily. It is Emily. She tells Emily, "You and Kelly should come double date with us. You totally should come double date with us." And Kyle's pissed. He's like, "God damn it! I rented a fucking boat for this, and now I'm taking the whole damn crew with me. I mean, really?" And so then he ends up taking uh Kelly and Emily out, and Emily and Kelly are not dating at all, right? So they all go out on this boat, and Kyle's really irritated about that. And then Nico and Lauren are irritated because they have to stay and clean up the boat. And then there was kind of a little incident where someone had left out food all night, and normally the interior would have, or the stewardesses would have cleaned that up at that point, but it nobody did, and everybody had eaten the food, so it's not like it was just one person. But Ben, Kate, Kelly, all these people were having all this food that they ended up leaving out remains of, and Captain Lee saw it in the morning, and he was pissed. He was pissed. I feel bad. I feel like I mean, there are some people that say Captain Lee is a lot more harsh this season. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that Captain Lee this season is actually the nicest he's ever been. Like, I think he was way harsher during season 1. Like, seriously, because even though he gets frustrated with, like, Kelly or Nico and Lauren about the way things are certainly done, or he hasn't really expressed any displeasure with Kyle, which is good because Kyle is an amazing seaman. Um, but you know, the first season he was really rough. Like he wasn't even on the show that much because he was such a hard ass. But as he's gotten more popular, especially with the ladies, they love them some stud of the sea, Captain Lee. He's gotten a little more screen time, so I don't necessarily buy into the why is he so sour this season. I don't see that. I don't. Um, Granted, now listen, he's not as, I think the most jovial he's ever been was actually last season, but that kind of bit him in the butt a little bit with Eddie. So now he doesn't really want to make that same mistake twice. So, because like Nene Leak says, never make the same mistake twice. It's the name of her book. It's really good. You should read it, actually. It's a good book. But yeah, so then, okay, so the last thing is, so Emily. Like, all the guys want to bang Emily. It's so weird, Like, Sierra is this bombshell, but Sierra is not crazy, but I don't know. She's not crazy. I don't think she's crazy. She's a little dingy, a little bit, but I don't think she's nuts, I just think she's a little dingy, and she's not really cut out to be a stew. She's more of a nanny like she used to be, but she's fine, but she's gorgeous. Like, she's a gorgeous girl, and none of the guys except for Kyle are really into her, which is so weird to me. That's so weird. But Emily, who is she now? Emily's one of those girls who's like, she's all that, right? Who, just because she's got glasses on, you think that she's nerdy, but she's actually a knockout, right? So Emily ends up, she'd made some not off color, but just an offhanded comment to Kate saying, yeah, a guy's never sent me flowers on Valentine's Day, and because it was Valentine's Day, and there was a guy that proposed to his fiance that night, one of the charter guests, and he was hot as hell. If she didn't say yes, I would have said yes because he was gorgeous. But Ben ended up buying her flowers, and she said that sort of gesture can make someone change their opinion. So she was not interested in Kelly, who's this, beefcake. She is interested in Ben. Ben is a stud. I gotta give it up to Ben. Kudos to you, Ben. That was, excuse me, that was pretty good. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about days of our lives. I've got a lot to say about days this week. And then we'll be talking about Young and the Restless on the next day. So feel free to hashtag Below Deck and chat with me at Twitter at Angel Benton. And we will see you tomorrow. Wubba wubba wubba.